If you have a Ford F100, Chevy C10, or even a classic Bronco, stick around for today's video. We have a CJ Classic coolant overflow tank that'll work for any one of those vehicles. This is the CJ Classic Universal Radiator Overflow Tank. It's made out of a stainless steel, which is pretty durable, so it shouldn't crack or leak like a lot of other plastic tanks out there. And this overflow tank should hold about 20 ounces of coolant, which should be plenty. But if for some reason that's not enough or too little, they do sell these in some other options as well. The one that we have here with us today is the 2x15, but there is also a 2x17 and a 2x13 option. This kit will provide some mounting tabs and some basic hardware to be able to mount it up to the truck, and the only thing that you're going to have to grab before all of this is some coolant hose to be able to run a new hose from the top of the radiator all the way down to the bottom of the overflow tank. Besides how it looks and how it mounts, if you're unsure of why cars need an overflow tank, it's because the cooling system obviously gets hot, but when it gets hot, the cooling system will actually pressurize and then start to push coolant out of the radiator. By having an overflow, the coolant will obviously escape into the overflow instead of getting onto the ground or even worse in your engine bay, creating a huge mess. Now let's pop the hood on the C10 and get this bad boy installed. Before we kick off the install of the overflow tank, I do need to mention that our radiator is a lot bigger than what these normally come with. And due to the fact that it is bigger, we can't fit our overflow tank in the exact spot that they usually go. Now the overflow tank usually mounts in between the battery and the radiator, but like I said, ours is way too big and it doesn't fit in there. I do have a different way of mounting it, which you'll see very shortly, but if your radiator overflow tank does fit into that area, then this is how you're going to mount it. Grab the mounting tabs and the rivets in the packaging that the kit provides, and mount those tabs with the rivets on the rad support here, and then from there take a nut and bolt and mount the tabs to the overflow tank and you'll be all set. But if you have a bigger radiator like us or one that's similar to ours, then follow along for the next couple of steps because I'll show you how to mount it this way. So we have to mount our overflow tank a bit differently because of our radiator. And the way I'm going to do that is actually by attaching it to the radiator itself. On our radiator, they have some inserts that are threaded, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the overflow tank, drill out the mounting hole tab, and then from there put a bolt through, probably a washer, and then we should be able to attach the overflow tank to the radiator. Now that I got the hole to be bigger on our mounting tab, we can go ahead and install it into the truck. Obviously there is a second mounting tab down here, but I think I'm going to end up just cutting that off here in the near future because one bolt really holds this thing in. I mean, this thing ain't going nowhere. After you get the overflow attached and secured to the truck, it's now time to run the overflow hose. Now when running the overflow hose, you're going to run it from the top port off your radiator to the bottom of the truck, and then you're going to meet the overflow tank. Now when you're putting the hose on the overflow tank, you're going to want to put the hose on the smaller port. The reason being, the bigger port is mainly just for if the overflow actually overflows, which should realistically never happen. So let's go ahead and attach this hose. Well, we're all wrapped up with that installation, and as you can see, installing one of these overflow tanks isn't too bad of a job. With the mounting tabs that they have on the tank itself, and then the hardware and the extra mounting tabs that they include, it makes a nice, easy installation. Now, I'm pretty happy with the fit and finish of this product. It looks good inside the engine bay, and not only does it look good, but now we have a good functioning part in there as well. Now it's time to drop a gear and disappear. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, check the link down below in the description for all your classic truck part needs.